Alexander Hoff reporting the war in Ukraine is personal for many families in San Diego.
And that includes a local photographer who has traveled to Ukraine not once or twice, but 4 times since that invasion began, documenting what's going on. Watch.
The first responders under daily rocket attack from the Russians at the nuclear power plant are living on the edge of danger under the threat any moment. I was sent on a mission by regional chiefs of the State Emergency Services of Ukraine to identify the most urgent needs of firefighters. The destination was Nikopol and Marganets. This is the location of a direct hit from a Grad rocket that was launched from across the lake with their rocket launchers and tanks in between the reactors of the power plant so that the Ukrainians can't respond and eliminate the threat.
Joining us right now, we have Jonathan Brook. His son Arthur is also here. He's a big part of this as well. He's a youth reporter working to raise awareness about the war in Ukraine. Guys, good morning. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
The first question that I have for your dad, you've been there 4 times.
Yes.
You're planning on going back.
Yes.
You're a photographer. It's what you do, right? Does the danger and the reality of what's going on over there ever kind of just strike you and say, maybe I shouldn't go back, or what drives you to return?
The people I'm working with there, the first responders, the firemen, the rescuers, their bravery is incredible. I'm just an onlooker by comparison to what they're doing. And all that we can do to help them is even that is not enough. So going over there and following them, documenting their work, coordinating ways that we can get help to them, assessing what supplies they need, is the least that we can do.
It seems like the attacks are indiscriminate. Are you worried that you'll get hurt? Because you're going back in a couple days.
They're indiscriminate. The attacks are indiscriminate in one sense that a lot of them are dumb bombs. They're being shot, but they're quite discriminate in the fact that they're trying to aim them at the areas where they will get the worst, make the worst casualties.
Well, you tell their stories, and just a few moments ago we just saw, like in the middle of some of that rubble, a bike for a child, and we'll get to your son in just a moment. You've brought some stuff in front of you. How do you tell stories? What are those things?
So each one of these has a story of people that fought and died in this horrible war. Some of these that look crazy like this or like this are pieces of artillery that were exploded inside of a tank when a tank exploded, a Russian tank. Something like this was shot at Russian artillery convoy, and it exploded a tank next to where I found these other ones. But a piece like this is the tip, it's the detonator tip of a 15-20 foot rocket that was shot from Russian-occupied Zaporizhia, the nuclear power station, where the Russians are holding the hostage, the power station, and every day they bombard these towns with rockets and artillery. And the firefighters that we've been working with live in those towns, and they respond to the atrocities, the everyday attacks that are coming into their towns, and they live under that danger every day.
The influence, obviously, that your dad has doing all this for you, Arthur. And listen, Arthur is going to take my job like next week, and I'm okay with that. You're 12?
12.
Okay. You're passionate about this as well, obviously. You understand it more than most 12-year-old boys understand it. You've done some reporting. Let's watch your reporting, and then we'll chat, okay? Watch this.
Imagine watching the news to find out if your school is going to start teaching all your classes in a foreign language. Imagine wondering if foreign soldiers are going to show up at your home to take away your parents because they are vocal in your community. Wondering if your favorite national heroes are going to be the villains in the new culture and history books that your new foreign-speaking teacher is going to teach at your school. That's exactly what it's like for kids my age in Ukraine right now.
Arthur, you're hired. I will give you the contract when we're done with this interview. That being said, what you're saying there is very important because that's aimed at other kids, right? Because you're giving them perspective. What if suddenly your life in 11, you're 11, 12 years old, everything is gone, everything is different. What are you trying to tell other kids your age so they understand?
Well, this is not normal for the people. They are not just going on their life there like we are here. It is not just an event happening like you'd be reading about this in a history book. They are actually having their lives torn apart. Their parents are going to war and possibly being killed. Their houses are being blown up and shot at.
Is that incredible that that's actually happening, that your dad is over there watching it? He's been there, he's actually seen it? Is that scary?
It's somewhat scary, but I find no matter what Papa's going through, there's still a lot going on. The first responders are going through even more. They don't have a safe place to go back to.
Wow.
They don't know that when they're done with work, they can go back to their family, to the home with their families. Some of them don't have homes anymore. Most of their families have been sent to somewhere safe.
I am trying to hold back right now a ton of tears because for a 12-year-old to know these things and have to even talk about these things in today's day and age is just heartbreaking. I mean, it's just heartbreaking. He should be out playing, and instead he's, needing to report on something horrible. What is that like for you? Why I mean, are you proud of him when you see him?
I'm proud of my son and for the work he does. But he stands together, shoulder to shoulder, with other kids over there who are the victims of this war. Their families are being destroyed, are being torn apart. Kids are losing their limbs and their lives and being taken off to prison camps in Russia. And kids are being taken away from their families and taken to Russia by the thousands and hundreds of thousands.
I wanted to ask you, because this is literally your job, to keep this in the forefront of people's minds, because the atrocities that are going on, and you mentioned this, Arthur, we're so disconnected. We're done here, we'll go home, it's the weekend, it's raining. But seeing what you've seen, how do you keep this and maintain interest and maintain in the news and in the forefront? Because after a year, I know people who say, wait, that war's still going on? How can you make people aware that this is still happening and it's in some parts getting worse?
We know people that are still on the front lines,
right.
And we know people that get killed. Friends of ours that we hear about that have gotten killed this day, that day, and some recently. And our mission is to bring awareness of the war and what's going on and the help that they need and the ways that we can help them. By bringing back here the visuals, the stories about the people, and it's all individual people.
I think you two are quite the pair.
Yes.
I think you've impressed us. You're setting a fine example for your son,
Yes.
and you're kind of carrying that torch as well. By the way, I know Voice of America did a big interview on you, so good for you. Keep up the good work, you as well.
Yes.
And be safe.
Be safe.
Thank you.
Yes.
Because I think what you're doing is important work, and we appreciate it. So thank you both for being here. If you'd like to see more on Jonathan's work, there is a link on fox5sandiego.com. Click that scene on top. Guys, we thank you both.
Arthur, since you're a news anchor, you're going to get a new contract. You want to tell everybody we'll be right back?
This
look in the
is
camera.
your moment.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We'll be right back.
Ah!